Hi, this is Zach here with the weekend edition of the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Sunday, the 26th of October. Starting with the FTSE 100, which is soaring after the latest RSI 50 rebound, which we were hoping would be a continuation or at least a rebound signal, in fact, and above the recent peak there around the 95.77 level, looking for top of the June channel there, which is basically 96.80, not far away, and then a best case scenario target at that red May resistance line projection heading for currently 98.30. We're looking for that by the end of next month, end of November, while we remain above the 95.77 peak. Next on the list is the DAX, and here has been a little bit more sheepish compared to the FTSE, and that continues to be the case, but at least we are above a rising, well, it's above the 50-day moving average. I suppose it's flat now, actually, and but we've had an RSI 50 rebound, albeit a flat one. It looks as though this market will hopefully start responding to the bullishness elsewhere, but while we're on the right side of 24,000, looking for a retest of the record highs, 24,700, and then hopefully up to 26,000 by the end of next month. Not expecting anything lower than the floor of the channel there from April at 23,600. The Dow is next, and here the picture is that of a market which looks ready to finally hit the top of that May 2024 rising trend channel. You can see it's been ruling the roost for quite some time, apart from that April dip. The top of the channel there heading for 48,100 now, and we're looking for that while we're above the 50-day line there, 45,000, or just under 46,000. Ideally, recent support around 46,500 will be maintained. Also see that we've had a rebound for the RSI back at that old support level around 55. So this looks like fresh leg to the upside in some quite meaningful way. Cryptos are next, and here Bitcoin has at least managed to steady itself at and just around the 200-day line there. That's around 108. Looking for a break of the 50-day line there at 114. We've already had the break of RSI 50, which is encouraging, and that does suggest that we've got the energy here to maybe have another go on the record levels towards 126 sometime during the course of November, while we remain above the floor of this channel here, which is currently at 104. But the main thing, I suppose, to inspire confidence and maintain confidence is that we stay above that 200-day line at 108. Next up is Ethereum, and here slightly disappointing, but at least we have held that uptrend line there, the red one there from back in April. That's currently at 37.60. Above that, we're looking for the 50-day line, 42.20 or 42.30, maybe to be more precise. The real sizzle here would be if we can break and stay above RSI 50. We're still below that at 47, so a little bit of more work to do. But the main thing, I think, is that we're holding that April line. That does imply that we have another chance of getting up to 4,600 and that resistance line there from August sometime during the course of November. Worst case at the moment is we've got to retest the August support there, 33.70 or so, but hopefully we can just stay within that falling trend channel, 35.50, the approximate level there. Moving on to gold, and here the situation is that we've had our brief dip, blink and you missed it, dip towards 4,000. In fact, we didn't actually go below 4,000, 4,005. We were hoping that 40.60 or so would be the support, so we overshot that on the downside. But since then, see the low on Friday, 40.66, so that is encouraging. And maybe there's another chance of at least retesting the record levels, best case up to 4,500 on that particular market. Moving on to the stocks and starting off with Alkemy, which I haven't looked at for quite a while. Here you can see that we bounced off the 50-day moving average. That is rising. In fact, we bounced above it, which is usually a continuation signal on the upside, normally a strong signal on the upside. So above that line at 203, looking for up to £3.40, top of that rising trend channel from back in October last year. In fact, you could argue that that channel is a bit higher than that. So looking for a big target here, maybe up to 350. And ideally, if you're trading the stock closely, we stay above recent broken resistance around £2.18. European metals is next, and here stock which has bounced above the rising 50 and 200-day lines, bounced off RSI 50 as well, which hence the inclusion today. been above RSI 50 since early September, and we gapped up at the end of the week. So a pretty strong look there. Looking for 18 pence by the end of next month, while we remain above the recent support around 10.5 pence. First Class Metals is next. I think I covered it at the end of last week, but obviously so excited now that again, RSI 50 plus rebound above a rising 50-day line, bouncing above that. So 4 pence looks pretty well locked in for the end of November, while we remain on the right side of 2.5 pence, basically the latest support. Good to see GenIP a rebound, and I don't think there's been any news of late, in fact, at least in the last 11 days or so, and which is normally good, rising without news. We had the uptrend line in the RSI window. We've broken the 50-day line and also broken September resistance, which is quite meaningful at 24 pence. The longer we stay above that 50-day line, just under 22 pence, the greater the chance of an initial target here. 29 pence, best case, up to as high as 42 pence by the end of next month. Next on the list is Georgina Energy, which I haven't covered as much as I should have. Maybe a very good announcement during the week. Obviously, that was sold off or sold into, but another end of day close through the 50-day line of 5 pence could do the trick in terms of getting the shares at least up to that 6 to 7 pence resistance zone, which has been rather problematic since the summer. Mast is next, and here it's a matter of trying to work out where this falling knife will eventually find support. You can see at the moment we've got what is effectively the neckline support on that massive reversal of sell-off formation that we had. Looking at recent days, you can see that the stock has seen that line there, the line currently around 12 pence. So, but presumably at the moment, the message is to buy any dips towards 12 pence and look for a rebound into the low 30s, maybe even as high as the 200-day line, especially with the latest news that we had, and also the way that the RSI seems to be bouncing near that officially oversold 30 level. Moving on to a stock which almost always disappoints, but you can't give up on these things. Here we've got Physiomics, hit the top of that broadening triangle there from April, which is good news in the sense that it shows that the shares have actually seen something on the chart. 0.56 the level there. If we break that, then it would be up to 0.73. The reason for inclusion today is that we do have a rising 50-day line, and we have the 50-day line there at 0.4 as a potential stop loss or a buy into any weakness, buy any dip sort of situation. So maybe that might be attractive to some. Whatever happens, we like to stay above the initial October support at 0.42 pence. Been a few false dawns in or at Rome Resources, but this is looking more encouraging. I think we're promised big news from the company. We bounced off the rising 50-day line at 0.35. We bounced off RSI 50. We've got an RSI 50 buy signal there, and looking for up to 0.49 by the end of next month, while we remain above that 50-day moving average. So let's see if this time Rome can step up to the plate. Whatever happens, we like to stay on the right side of 0.3 pence, which we have so far in the recent past. On to Satsuma, which even though it lost £10 million in a month, can't quite work out how it managed to do that, but it managed to achieve that. There has been a rise in the share price. You can see that we've broken the initial October resistance of 1.5 pence, which is a good sign, and above that, looking for maybe up to the 200-day line as a best case scenario target, 2.25 by the end of November. But obviously, this is a slightly fraught situation. The last three are next. First one is Strategic Minerals, and here we've got a situation where we're in hopefully a bit mid-move bull flag consolidation. Want to see the shares stay on the right side of a penny. If they can do that, then we're looking for 1.3 pence, maybe beating the recent highs sometime early in November. Ideally, whatever happens, we stay above 0.8 pence recent support. Moving on to a stock which I think nobody talks about, which is Tialis. Here we've had directed buying, and I think it was at around 60 pence. That's helped the cause. So the shares are now 82 pence, and we're looking for the top of the range and the top of the channel there, £1.30. As soon as the end of next month. Not sure what will do that, but we've had an RSI 50 plus rebound and a rebound above a rising 50-day line, so it looks quite decent technically. The last stock is a requested stock, and today we've got Uru Metals. Here it looks like a mid-move consolidation. Lots of RSI 50 plus rebounds, small little ones, and above the previous target there, around 10 pence, looking for a fresh leg to the upside, as high as 14 pence by the end of November. Going to a golden cross, which tends to be the strongest part of the cycle, and hopefully now we'll stay above 7.75 pence, recent support for the shares. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.